The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and here we are once again gathered around the breakfast table, the water cooler, or wherever you may be hanging out. You could be hanging out at work. We're all here together. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. This is where we meet every Friday at this time, and we get together, have a little fun, conversation, and a little coffee to boot. And we thank you so much for being along with us. We want you to stay with us for this whole full hour if you possibly can, because we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot to digest, so we're going to feed you a little bit at a time. You know, you don't want to take everything in one chunk, so every little bit at a time. And we have to fit it all in this 1 hour, so we invite you to stay along with us. We want to thank our friends who've been with us for all of these years. Thank you so much for being with us and hanging out with us, being part of this show. And we will also want to thank the people who may be here for the very first time. And if you are here for the very first time, let me show you how the show operates. As the host of the show, I get things rolling and get into the prep mode, is what I'm doing right now. And while I'm doing that, at any time at all, you can join in and you can type in whatever you want to type. You can communicate with me by way of your computer, or it could be laptop, desktop, or your cell phone, or even your tablet. And just type in whatever you want to talk about. I will see you right there on the big screen. I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, because that's what the show is all about. It's free exchange of ideas and of opinions. And I know you guys have a lot of those, and we want to make sure that we get them in for you. And of course, we come on 2 different platforms as well. Now, a lot of you people here for the first time may not know that, so that's what we're going to school you on right now. We're live on YouTube and we're live on Facebook. So wherever you are, stay with us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, I want you to take the opportunity, and for you 2 guys who are watching us on Facebook, to tell all your friends about this show. You can do it right now, getting involved with that. And what I mean by that, you can cut and paste the platform that you're watching us on right now. Now, for the people who are watching us on YouTube, they always say that they call it tagging, but it's the same thing. You cut and paste the platform that you're on right now, and that's the link. And when you do that, you can send it to all of your friends, as many as possible. And we'll look forward to that. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll come back again and again. And that we hope that they do. And tell them to tell their friends about it as well as they come along. So we got it all under control right here. We thank you so much for being along. We've got a lot of things on this 17th day of April. And it's safe to say that we're in the middle of the month and almost drifting towards May, which everybody's looking forward to, because that's when the weather even gets better and better. And we look forward to a lot of things like that. So there you go. Now, if you're watching us at work right now and you happen to be on your coffee break, well, this is a good time to tell you about this, because I know that during your coffee break, what you do is, if you get that 10, 15, 20-minute coffee break that your employer allows you to take, and you take that and you drink your coffee and schmooze around with your friends and your coworkers, that's good. You can do that every day of the week. But this is Friday. And we're on the air right now. So we want you to spend that time with us. So what we want you to do is stay at your desk, at your computer where you're watching this show, and sip your coffee there. Right? Do that. Sip your coffee there and watch the show at the same time. And then when your 15 or 20-minute break is up, you can go right back to work and watch the show at the same time. That's a little thing they call multitasking. So we invite you to be along with us for the entire hour. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of YouTube, Facebook, Zoom, or any other publication or broadcast facility or social media outlet. So that being said, let's do what we always do. Let's raise our cups with all our elements in it. I hope it's coffee or tea, whatever it is. And because what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? My friends, excuse me while I shoot up. Oh, that hits the spot. You just don't know. Or maybe you do know. I'll have a little more a little later. Here we are in the month of April. And I want you to stay with us because later on, we've got sports coming up with Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. As a matter of fact, why don't you tell us about that, Brian? That's your show.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon to everybody out there, wherever you may be around the globe. I'm coming live from Charlotte, North Carolina, where it's presently 79 degrees, going up to 86. So it's going to be a doozy, I think, for the weekend too. So we're going to be in the 80s for a while.
Yeah. So how long do we have you today?
Up until maybe 10:30, 10:40 or so, give or take.
Okay. All right. If I ramble on too long and you have to go, just interrupt a little bit and let me know. But we'll keep it at that. But it's good to have you aboard with us. I want to say hello to Warren Dantzler, who's coming out of Greensboro, North Carolina. He's checking in right now. He says good morning to us. He's right there watching us on Facebook. Warren, as usual, has his weather, his short weather, which we always ask for. He's got 73 degrees out there where he is, and it's going to be cloudy. The high is going to go up to 84 degrees. So that sounds about right for that situation. We had that temperature up to 87 here in New York yesterday, but it's cooled down today. It's going to be the high 77. But we'll talk more about that later. But how's it going in Charlotte, though?
It's still going on great. Last week I was in New York City. I enjoyed my time there in New York. Went to Cat's Deli. I never thought I would spend a $31 sandwich, but it was worth it. It took me the whole day to finish it off. And if you don't know anything about Cat's Deli, it's down on the Bowery side of New York City, which is lower Manhattan on Houston Street. And it was great just to be there. You saw all those pictures that's on the wall, the famous people that ate there, and stood in the line where it was very chilly, but it was worth the wait. A little windy, but I was able to get into Cats. I was there many years ago where the sandwiches were like $12, $13. Now it's $31. So I had a pastrami and corned beef combined. And when I say without exaggeration, the meat of the sandwiches was like this. It doesn't get any better than that. So it was worth it.
Oh, but you did have fun in New York, right?
Was able to see my children. Of course, I saw you, my children, my grandkids. It was nice. Went to some landmarks. Just didn't really spend time in Coney Island. Just drove past it and just reminiscing about how it was when I was a kid there. So
yeah,
it's always good to come back to the Big Apple. That's always home. But it's glad to be back home in Charlotte, though.
It's as Sinatra says, it's nice to go traveling, but it's also nice to come back home. Yeah, I got that. I got that. We're celebrating Scottish American Heritage Month for the entire month. So we've got next week will be one more time to talk about that. It'll be the last week in April, but we're celebrating that all month long. And those of you who are watching us from Scotland, we want to celebrate with you, and all these Scottish Americans here in the United States, we celebrate you. So if you have anything that you want to talk about, Scotland or whatever, we'd be glad to hear from you because we want to celebrate you. And maybe you have some community events that's taking place in the Scottish community that you'd like to talk about. Let's talk about it. Who knows? We may be there with you. You never know. Also, we have National Alcohol Awareness Month. Now, I have a hotline for people who want more information or if you need help, it's the Drug, Alcohol, and Rehab Detox Center. And their hotline number is 866-584-7022. That's 866-584-7022. Let's move on because we have Parkinson's Awareness Month as well. Now, you may have a loved one or a friend or any kind of family member that needs help, or you might want more information about that. I have their number. You can give them a call at 888-965-6004, 6005. Again, that's 888-965-6005. National Child Abuse Prevention Month is here as well. And of course, all of this information that I'm giving you, when you call them, make sure that you get the information you need and make sure they're steering you in the right direction. Do a lot of research on this. But anyway, the National Child Abuse Month, and their number is 800-551-1300. That's 800-551-1300. Sexual Assault Awareness Month as well. We got all of these things. These things are important. You have to know these things. So that's why I want to give you all the information you want about that. If you need any information or you know someone who needs help, call them at 800-942-6906. That's 800-942-6906. And finally, we have National Autism Awareness Month. So all of these things we have to be aware of. Every month that happens that we feel that is necessary, we bring them to you because you may need help about it, or you may know someone that needs help. Anyway, it's the Autism Society Helpline, and their number is 800-328-8476. That's 800-328-8476. Again, make sure that you research them very carefully. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're here each week at this time. We bring you all kinds of information and sports. As I said, it's coming on in just a few minutes. And Brian, we know summer is coming along, and maybe you have some advice for people or some place people can go for the summer months. Some places that you have any suggestions or anything like that? Because I know here in New York, the only thing that we think about is Coney Island.
Coney Island, yeah. But you know what? Sometimes it's good to get out of your own environment and just go somewhere else. So if you like cruising, take a cruise. Go to a tropical island or a Caribbean island and just sit back and just let that wind hit you by the water. I would say you could go there. You could go anywhere out of your own environment, even if it's just for a weekend, just to get away from period everything and everybody, including politics. And you know where I'm getting at, but you don't want to deal with politics right now. You want to just to be around yourself and your family and everything, because it's all about that. And because wherever you leave, when you come back, it's gonna be the same old issue, but at least you got away for a while.
Yeah, just for a while, because I always tell people when they go away, or even if you leave your house and go to work, whatever is ailing you or bothering you, leave it in your house, leave it there, because it's not going to make any sense for you to take it with you. It makes you even worse, and deal with it when you come back. We all have problems. We all have to have our dealings, and we deal with it when we come back. And speaking of politics, Brian, now that you brought politics up, this is something that I saw online. I don't take it as gospel anymore from social media, because social media has a tendency to steer you wrong. But I don't know, did you hear that Kamala Harris may run for president for 2028? Did you hear anything about that?
I didn't hear anything about that. I know that she wanted to take some time off after the election, that she was against the current president now. Um, you know, is she the right fit for the Democratic Party? You know, I don't know. I say yeah, and yes sometimes, and I say no, because I
Mm,
trust neither party. But just to get this guy out, the one who resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue right now, I don't know if she's the right one because it's going to take. You listen. I'm not trying to be a sexist or anything like that, but I
mm,
gotta say this: America's not ready for a woman to be president. I will receive a woman to be president if she's the right candidate. I don't have an
yeah,
issue with it. But I don't think America itself is ready because here it is, Donald Trump defeated two women, beat them easily, but he couldn't beat Joe Biden. See, think about that. He's 0-2 against, he's 2-0 against women, but he's 0-1 against a male.
mm,
Um, America is not ready. I'm telling you, it's not ready. I'm ready for a woman president.
mm,
As long as she's willing to to what's the word I'm looking for? As long as she's able to live up to the expectation of being a president, not only for men and women, but for the United States of America. So
mm.
I open my arms and embrace the idea for any woman, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Like I said, I don't owe no loyalty to any political party. I would love to see a woman or anybody else to derail this president, get him out of office because he's going to hurt somebody. He's going to hurt your loved ones, not physically, but down the road.
Yeah. You know, I brought up that situation about Kamala Harris because I saw it. Some people posted on Facebook, but I don't always take it. Who knows? Maybe she's not. Maybe it's not true. But if it's true, here's my honest opinion. Can I be honest here? I want to be totally honest here. All right. Here's my opinion. I say that she shouldn't even come back and try again. And I'll tell you why I say that. Is because when she lost the race to Donald Trump, you never heard from her again. And as you said, she had people around her saying that, that she should lay low, not come back. She had people around her. I say that's a bad idea. I thought she should be able to stay into the fight because this way, if she decides to run for president, if it's true that she wants to run for president in 2028, at least the people could say she's still been out there. She was still out there for the fight and she's still doing and she's still visible. But a lot of people, I've spoke to some people, they say, I don't know. I love her, but she hasn't been out there. She lost the race and she didn't stay around. She didn't hang out, which is true. She didn't hang around. She didn't stay for the fight. But given the alternative between her and some cornball like Donald Trump, of course I'm going to vote for her. But I say, in my personal opinion, I say that she shouldn't even entertain the thought of running this time around. Get back to the fight first. Let people see who you are. Because when she came out the first time, she came out only because of the fact that Joe Biden had relinquish his presidency and gave her the opportunity to step in and finish off and then, run for president. But I don't think she should. That's only my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No,
Mm.
I actually agree with you. I just think that I don't think that this would be a good time for her to run. I think maybe she'd be better to support a Democratic candidate. But then
Yeah,
again, what's out there for the Democrats? We
yeah,
don't we don't know who's. I mean, there's talks about Cory Booker, King Jeffries.
yeah.
So you know, there's and I forget the governor in Pennsylvania. I forget his name. He's also was one that was supposed to run against Trump
Oh,
in the
what's his
last
name?
election
Josh.
before.
Are you talking about Josh?
I forget it.
Who's in Philadelphia? Was he from
Yeah,
Philadelphia?
in Pennsylvania, from Pennsylvania, for the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I,
Josh.
yeah,
Uh, So I know who you're talking about. Wear glasses, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Those are the three candidates that may could be able to derail. But this is supposed to be his last turn anyway,
Yeah.
for president. But
Yeah.
what we want us to do is the person to look out for after this election is JD Vance. That's the person you got to look out for. He has traits of Donald Trump. He has ways of Donald Trump, and you got to be very careful. And we spend all our time talking about Trump, 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 but we don't know what's been left behind for somebody else to pick up the slack. And JD Vance, everybody in America better keep their eyes on him. How dare
Mm.
he was another one that slandered the Pope. How do you slander the Pope? This is God's messenger, and you're gonna
Yeah.
slander the Pope? Tell him to mind his business? Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Some people just don't know how to stay in their lane. You have to learn to stay, unless you know what you're talking about. And everything that he says, he obviously never knows what he's talking about anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, he's got to stay in his lane. Those of you who are just joining us, it's the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan. That's Brian Kemp, along with me for this Friday. And we thank you so much for being along with us. Stay with us for the entire hour if you possibly can. And if you're going to indulge in conversation, do what Warren did. Give us your weather forecast and let us know what it's like in your area. This way we can kind of, you know, compare notes on what the weather is like, because the weather here in New York City is much different from the weather from where you are, right? And we just like to compare those notes and let people know how things are going. But that's basically it. That's basically it. Uh, so I'm going to give you the weather forecast in New York. I got something in New York for you. It's gotten a little cooler since the last time we spoke. It's 73 degrees now, and it's going to go up to 77. But yet, compared to yesterday, it's a little cooler. But what we have for the week, for the rest of this weekend, the weather doesn't look that bad. I didn't even get a chance to pre-read it before I got on the air, but I'm going to go through it right now. Today is Friday. So what we have going, let me see. It comes in, it comes out. The purpose of technology is supposed to improve things. Sometimes it screws around. So I'm trying to get this weather to pop back up. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. It's partly cloudy this morning, increasing cloudiness with periods of showers this afternoon. So you might want to take that umbrella with you. We'll have a high 78 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. It's going to be a few clouds for tonight, low 56. Winds will be east northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we look forward to Saturday, it gets even cooler. It's going to be partly cloudy skies, high 66. Winds will be east southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And for Saturday night, cloudy with occasional light rain after midnight. We'll have a low around 52. Winds will be east southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain will go up to 60%. Now that for Sunday, you're going to really need the umbrella as you go out to church or wherever you go, whatever you do for your Sunday. It's going to be periods of rain. Turning cooler, we'll have a high around 55 degrees, and winds will be north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain is going to be 80%. Rainfall around a quarter of an inch. When they say a quarter of an inch, that's saying plenty. That's saying that you're going to really need that umbrella. Right now, as I said, the present temperature we have here in New York is 73 degrees, and we have peekaboo sunshine. Brian, we're a little late, so let's get to the sports.
Okay, hello again, everybody. I'm coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina. We're presently 79 degrees, going up to 86, 88 degrees for today. And the NFL in 2027, the Super Bowl will air on ESPN for the first time in network history. The occasion will be mark the first Super Bowl on ABC since 2006. As you know, Walt Disney owns ABC and ESPN. Also, the NFL draft is coming up too on the 23rd to the 25th. That's next week. Major League Baseball honored Jackie Robinson this past Wednesday with every player, coach, and umpire wearing his number 42 to mark the 79th anniversary of the infielder breaking the sport's color barrier. Robinson made his debut for the Brooklyn Dodgers on April 15th, 1947. He went on to win Rookie of the Year honors and became a six-time All-Star. And also in 1949 was National League MVP as well too. He played the six World Series and won his only World Series in 1955 with the Dodgers. Robinson made his pro debut with the Kansas City Monarchs, which is in the Negro League in 1945. He was there for 5 months before the Dodgers general manager, Branch Rickey, interviewed him on a possible selection of Brooklyn's International League Farm Club. Branch Rickey wanted to make sure Robinson could withstand the racial antagonism without reacting angrily. I say about Jackie Robinson, he wasn't the best player to come out of the Negro League. He was not the best player, but he was the right choice for this assignment. And his assignment not only broke barriers for the Major League Baseball, but it opened the doors for the NFL, which opened up in 1950 for black players to come, as well as in the NBA, who also in 1950 started letting black people and people of color to enter into sports, which is the three major sports. So Jackie Robinson, we salute you. We thank you. He was also not only a great baseball player, but he was also a great civil rights leader too. He was on the front line. He was on the front line. I'll say that again. The man was on the front line fighting for people like us, for people to have equal opportunities in this country and in life, period. An NBA, former NBA, remember I told you about the scandal about gambling in basketball? Well, I told you it was going to come soon. Somebody flipped. That's in the mobster world. Somebody flipped. Well, NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones is expected to become the first person to plead guilty in a gambling suite that led to the arrest of more than 30 people, including reputed mobsters and other basketball figures. Jones is 49 and previously pleaded not guilty to separate indictments, charging him with profiting from rigged poker games and providing sports bettors with non-public information about injuries of stars like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. A change of plea hearing for Jones in the sports betting case is scheduled for April 28th. That should be sometime next week or so in Brooklyn Federal Court, according to a court filing on this past Thursday. So I'll tell you, somebody's going to flip soon, and sooner or later, somebody's going to start singing. It just so happens that he's trying to get a plea deal where he will not have to stay or do any jail time. This day in sports, April 27th, New York Yankees in 1925, Babe Ruth has an ulcer surgery. 1947, Jackie Robinson bunts his first major league hit. It was a bunt base hit. It wasn't a clean single, but it was a bunt base hit. He used his skills, his speed. 1963, NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle suspends Paul Hornung and Alice Karras indefinitely for betting. There's that word again, betting. Betting on football games. Just don't know. And they talk about the steroid era. I'm going to save that for another time, another day, because you have more people betting illegally than you using PEDs. So anyway, 1964, first game at Shea Stadium, New York Mets lose to the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3. 1983, Nolan Ryan strikes out his 33,500 batter. 1987, Julius Erving, known as Dr. J, becomes the third NBA and ABA player to score 30,000 points. So now we talk about sports. You know, as Frank Allen says, that we have Scottish American Week a month, and did some digging. I want to come up and find who is in Scotland that was born in Scotland was most been revered the most? Well, Thomas Sean Connery was born on August 25th, 1930, at Fountain Bridge, Edinburgh, Scotland. His mother, Euphemia McLean, was a cleaning lady, and his father, Joseph Connery, was a factory worker and truck driver. He's also had a brother named Neil Connery, a plasterer in Edinburgh, uh, who was 8 years younger. Before going to acting, Sean Connery had many different jobs, such as a milkman, a lorry driver, a laborer, an artist model for the Edinburgh College of Art, a coffin polisher, and a bodybuilder. He also joined the Royal Navy, but was later discharged because of medical problems. At the age of 23, he had a choice between becoming a professional soccer player or an actor. And even though he showed much promise in the sport, he chose acting and said it was his more intelligent decision. I happen to agree. Many of you know who Sean Connery is. He's the first James Bond. He did 7 movies. One in 1962, he did Dr. No. In 1963, he did From Russia with Love. 1964, Goldfinger. 1965, Thunderball. 1967, He Only Lived Twice. 1971, Diamonds Are Forever. And in 1983, Never Say Never Again. So he was the first James Bond. One of the famous James Bond line is when somebody asks him, "And your name, sir?" and he will just say, "Bond, James Bond." Bond fan, watch any of the Bond movies, you probably would not understand that line, but he would say Bond, James Bond. And I start picking up, somebody asked me my name, and that's how I started saying Camp, Brian Camp, but I wasn't no James Bond. So the tall, handsome, and muscular Scottish actor Sean Connery is best known for a portrayal of different other movies too, as well. The Untouchables with Kevin Costner. He did one with Indiana Jones. He played as the father, and was voted the most sexiest man alive back in 1989. Um, he touched so many lives with his acting ability. My favorite James Bond was Roger Moore, but I know that Sean Connery holds that title as the greatest James Bond, and deservedly so. He had a way, this distinguished way about him. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is sports, and having Sean Connery to talk about the greatest James Bond role ever.
I have to go with Sean Connery as the James Bond. How many James Bonds they had? They had a few James Bonds,
They had
but
Sean Connery. They had
I
Sean
grew up.
Connery.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah,
original
they
James
had
Bond who I grew up with. I grew up with Sean Connery. I grew up with that James Bond. So I'm
yeah.
kind of partial to him than the other ones. I'm pretty sure the other ones they did pretty good, but uh, who do they have? If I can remember, they had Roger Moore, Pierce Bronson, I think was one.
But
Uh,
before Roger Moore, there was another Bond. He only played
yeah,
in one. I forget his name. He played in one movie, and then they went to Roger Moore. I grew up with under. I mean, listen, Sean Connery is the best Bond. I watch his movie, but I grew up with Roger Moore. You know,
yeah.
and you know,
and and then a lot like yeah, I guess every generation had a different James Bond. It's just like every generation had a Superman. My Superman was George Reeves. That was my Superman growing up in the 50s. He was my Superman, George Reeves. And then you had Christopher Reeves in the 70s. I think it was in the 90s, I believe. But Christopher Reeve and George Reeve were, but by the way, they weren't related. They weren't related because George Reeve was George Reeve, but Christopher Reeves, his last name ended with an S, Reeves. But they weren't. But they had so many uh, uh, different Supermans and James Bond. So, but always partial to the guys that I grew up with. That's my take on it. But it was great. And while we're on the subject of sports, yesterday, I don't know, I was so frustrated, and I wanted to mention it on the show last night on Talkback Live. I was so frustrated that the Yankees lost the game the way they lost it. I mean, it was terrible. It was like Little League baseball I was watching, you know. Uh, but I gotta say, they played the Los Angeles Angels, which I gotta give it to them. They're a pretty good team. They're in third place, but they played good baseball.
Yes,
They played good baseball, and they have a hell of a defense. You can't beat their defense. I don't know why they're in third place. Maybe later on things will pop up and it'll happen for them. But uh, they and then this guy uh, Mike Mike Trout, Mike Trout,
very good player.
very good player, hit four home runs in that series.
Yes, that's right. Mike Trout.
Everybody was talking about him yesterday. He hit 4 runs, and of course, you had I think Aaron Boone hit what, 4 in that series, right? No, he hit no. Trout hit 5 runs in that 5 home runs in that season, in that series, and
Yes.
Aaron hit what, 4? He hit 4.
Aaron Judge, you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said Aaron Boone is Aaron Judge.
Okay, I don't know. Aaron Boone is the manager. He's still there. He's still, after all of these years, he's still there. That's something I want to talk about the Yankees, about their management, and I think they need a good defense because Aaron Judge cannot carry that team by himself. You could always depend on him when he goes to bat, but he can't do that by himself. He needs his teammates.
Eight other
And
players.
I don't know if those guys did their homework over the off season. They went down to their farm to check out some more players because they need a bullpen. They don't have a bullpen.
They don't. But you know what? It could be worse. The Mets lost 8 straight games in a row.
Oh God, the Mets are down at the bottom.
Yeah. So
It's tied up with your team,
Okay, let's not talk about that now. Yeah. Okay. We don't need to talk about the Giants. Okay. We don't need. No, we don't need that.
And I've been keeping my eyes on the A's. One time I said the Oakland A's, but they're no longer in Oakland. Oakland, in Sacramento now, right? Which, by the way, in 2028, they're going to move to Las Vegas. Did you know that?
That's right. I reported that last year. They're going to do one in Sacramento, I believe.
And they're in Sacramento. Now, I always call them the Oakland. I can't get Oakland out of my head.
They will always be the Oakland A's, just like the Raiders in football. They always will be the Oakland Raiders. It seems like all these teams are going to Vegas now, leaving the Bay Area just to go to Vegas. A lot of stuff happens in Vegas.
Yeah. Where they're gonna get the people, the residents of Vegas, they'll get the bet on the team because they can do that. It's a legal gambling place, Las Vegas. So it's legal to gamble in Las Vegas. It's not legal here in New York or in other places. I don't know where you are. Is it legal? Do you have gambling license over there where you are?
We're getting a casino being built over there close to Greensboro, believe it or not. So that's going to draw more jobs, more attention. I don't think that we need the attention. It's good to have more and more jobs, though. But let's see what happens. Gambling is something. It's now legalized. It wasn't legalized so much in sports, but now it's getting more and more legalized now. Yeah.
We had Jackie Robinson Day on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. Yeah. We had Jackie Robinson Day. But Warren he just mentioned something about Jackie Robinson Week. He said, this is Jackie Robinson Week. Did you hear about that?
Possibility, yeah. In recent years, they try to put on social media, they're trying to put another player to retire its number and one name pops up was Roberto Clemente. Now, Roberto Clemente was a great player. He was a great journeyman who did a lot for people of his own, for his own people as well too. But why take away Jackie Robinson? What he has done, he has broken barriers. We don't need another person to come along to take away from Jackie Robinson. Don't get me wrong. I love Roberto Clemente. He's a great man, a great athlete, but most of all, he's a great individual and everything. So we don't need that. Jackie Robinson, let him have his due. He went
Mhm.
through racial discriminating. He was spat on. He was just physically and mentally abused and everything. So let it be. If it is Jackie Robinson week, it should be Jackie Robinson month for what he's been through.
And if you ever get a chance, speaking of Jackie Robinson, if you ever get a chance, if you're in the New York area, go to the Jackie Robinson Museum. It's downtown, and I was there. It's a great thing to see. It's a great, and you have to go a couple of times because there's so many things going on over there. It's like visiting a place that's so big that you have to go a second and third time. But if you go one time, you get the idea. And then the other thing too, you might want to remember that Jackie Robinson's day is on how you can remember. You can remember Jackie Robinson's day on the 15th of April, tax day. All you have to remember is tax day. And that would be Jackie Robinson Day too. I just wanted to let you know that.
That's right.
But yeah, Jackie Robinson Day, and all the players will be wearing that number 42.
Yep. Well, before I go, I just want to say, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Make sure you watch the NBA playoffs, which begins this weekend. You got the two playing games tonight on Prime Video.
Mhm.
Let's just enjoy the sports all year round. Let's leave the politics behind us. Let's leave all the BS behind us. Just focusing on love, peace and love, and happiness. Okay,
Okay.
that's what I leave you. For you people about the barbecue, send me those recipes because I want to be out there this weekend for sure.
Okay. We got to catch you back here next Thursday on Talk Back Live. Okay.
Sounds good. Enjoy,
Have,
everybody.
have yourself a great weekend. And ladies and gentlemen, the Jackie Robinson, speaking of Jackie Robinson again, you might want to check out the 1950, I think it was 1950, the Jackie Robinson story. It's available. You could check it out. You might even go on YouTube. You might find it on YouTube. You never know. The Jackie Robinson story tells you about the life, and Jackie Robinson is in the movie himself. He plays himself. So, and with that, you could say that film is true to gospel. It's right there. It's true because he played in the movie, so it's got to be true to life right there. Just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and I'm Frank Allen, if you care to know that. But we thank you so much for being along with us. We're going to be here for the balance of the show to the top of the hour. I want to say hello to Lynette Duff out of London, England. And uh, thank goodness. What do you mean, thank goodness? Oh, she says, thank goodness I don't pay taxes. I thought she was referring to me. She said, thank goodness she doesn't pay taxes. Well, they don't pay taxes where you are, right? So good. That's good for you. You can keep more money in your pocket. But we thank you for being along with us. Uh, WrestleMania, Warren wants to remind us that WrestleMania is happening this weekend, which is dear to my heart. I love wrestling. That's one of the things I thrive on, because I like to see, I love to be entertained. And that's all it is entertainment, WrestleMania. So thank you, Warren, for that information. For WrestleMania. That's coming up this weekend. And there's a whole lot of things, a whole lot of sports coming on. Before you know it, the baseball season is already here, but people are talking about the draft in football. The NFL draft is happening, or it came to an end, or whatever it is, but they're ready and raring to go, and everybody's talking about that. But right now, let's stay and focus right now on baseball. I mean, I'm still ready for that, and I'm still saying that the Yankees, I was so embarrassed by the Yankees. They got whipped. They got whipped. They had a lead in the beginning. First, well, they were playing the Angels, right? The Los Angeles Angels. The Angels beat them, right? But the Angels started the game with a 2-0 score. I think it was a 2-0 score. Uh, and then the Yankees came back and rallied and came back, and they were like 3-2 or something to that nature. And then, of course, the final score was 11-3. And it didn't help when the grand slam came out. Oh man, that put the icing on the cake. And that's when I said to the Yankees, I still love you guys. I'm with you thick and thin, but you're starting to piss me off now. You started good in the season. You started very good in the season, but now you're starting to piss me off. And if you piss me off, that's not good. Like my mom used to say, when I get mad, that's bad. You got to do better. But the season is young. The season is young. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it irons out. Offset has returned to the stage just days after he was shot outside a casino in Florida, despite his um, ongoing recovery from a bullet wound. The rapper delivered a high energy performance at the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival in Indio, California last Saturday. Offset shared a video on Instagram on the moment he arrived on the stage in a wheelchair to perform a set list that includes Mingos, Bad, and Bougie. Allan Jackson is taking his final bow, closing out the 4-decade career that he has with one last Nashville send-off. The country singer will take the stage for the Allan Jackson Last Call, the finale. That will take place June 27th at the Nissan Theater. The farewell is expected to draw more than 55,000 fans, and an all-star lineup includes Luke Bryan, Eric Church, Luke Combs, Riley Green, Cody Johnson, Miranda Lombard, John Party, Carrie Underwood, Keith Urban, and Leanne Womack. It's been a big weekend for Frankie Muniz, and even a bigger weekend for Malcolm in the Middle. On last Friday night, the former child actor celebrated the premiere of his hit sitcom revival series, Life's Still Unfair. Then just a few hours later, Muniz was involved in a crash while driving his Malcolm in the Middle themed NASCAR truck. Muniz, who is a NASCAR craftsman, truck series racer, crashed his F-150 truck in a wreck with fellow racers Tyler Reeve and Timmy Hill at the Tennessee Briscoe Motor Speedway. He suffered no serious injuries, but the incident took Muniz out of the race and damaged his vehicle. He received a DNF, which means did not finish series in a final results, and Christopher Bell was declared the winner, driving for the Hallmark Freeze Racing. Phil Collins, Billy Idol, Iron Maiden, and Oasis are among the 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. They announced Monday during the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame theme episode on American Idol. Also getting into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year are the New Wave Pioneers. You have Joy Division of the New Order. You have Sade, the late R&B singer Luther Vandross, rapper Wu-Tang Clan, and this will be Collins' second induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was previously inducted in 2010 as a member of Genesis. Idol is getting in on his second nomination and was previously nominated in 2025. Maiden and Oasis are getting in on their third nomination. Glenn Close Lynn Manuel Miranda, and Joaquin Phoenix, Ben Stiller, and over 1,000 other creative have signed an open letter to oppose the Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merge. Paramount's multi-billion dollar proposal acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery was announced in early 2026. The acquisition would mean that holy grail of the Mega Stream app, and this could result in a massive industry layoff. Birthdays today. Victoria Beckman, who was formerly of the Spice Girls, is 52 years old today. Actress Jennifer Gardner is 54. Former CNN anchor Jim Acosta is 55. Rock and roll producer, the late Don Kirshner, would have been 92. Newscaster Harry Reasoner would have been 103. And actor, the late William Holden, would have been 108. So we want to say happy birthday to all of them, the ones who are alive and well. We say happy birthday to you and many, many more. And we'll never forget about the ones who are no longer with us. They left us a wonderful legacy. So each year that their birthdays come around, we will still acknowledge you. We want to keep you relevant. And if you have a birthday coming up anytime soon, everyone has a birthday. Yours may be right around the corner, maybe days from now, whatever. Let us know. All right. This way we can announce it and tell everybody how old you are. And all you have to do is get in contact with us. I have an email address and a telephone number. And I'm going to give you the email address first. The email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled Allan. Prod is Prod. That's short for productions. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Okay? And keep that information in your electronic devices, such as your computer, be it laptop, desktop, your tablet, or your phone. Now, your phone, you're not going to walk out of the house without that phone. Otherwise, you'll feel kind of naked. You ever done that? You ever walk out of your house without the phone and you said something's missing? And you look down, you see, well, I have my pants on, have to go back. It's the phone. Now, before they had cell phones, it didn't matter. It really didn't matter. But these days, you have to have a phone with you or you're naked. But anyway, keep all of that information in all of your devices. And just in case one is not available, you have something else to fall back on. And you could always use that 24 hours a day, that information I gave you. 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And please use that. Use it very carefully. All right. I'll give you it one more time. Email frankallenprod at AOL.com. That's frankallenprod at AOL.com. Telephone number 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Yes, indeed. We had a busy and I guess it's safe to say sometime a frustrating week along the news front. It's always frustrating, but you kind of like have to take everything in stride because what's going to happen is going to happen anyway. You heard about the, I guess it's good news to the people who lived in, I think in Hungary. Yeah. The Prime Minister Viktor Orban was ousted. You already heard about that, right? He was ousted and he accepted defeat. He did it gracefully. He accepted the defeat, but they said in Hungary, enough is enough. We don't want you anymore. And the reason why they don't want him anymore is because of what we're going through here in the United States. It's the same thing, which is why, do I have to say his name? Which is why he sent his vice president, J.D. Vance, over to Hungary to campaign for Viktor Orban. And you've probably seen it on TV. It was all over the news. He was out there campaigning. And while he was on stage, he gave his Lord and Savior a call on the telephone. which was very tacky, and held while he was talking, he held the phone to the microphone so everyone could hear. You know, this guy can't even when he's not there, he wants to stay in the news. Uh, but he had sent his vice president out there to campaign for it, but it didn't work because he lost the election out there, and so he's gone. He's gone, and you should have seen they were having a party out there, dancing in the street. They were singing "We Are the Champions." You know that song, "We Are the Champions." They were singing that song out there, and they had their little candle lights. They were swaying, the telephone lights or whatever they were doing. They were swaying and having a good time. Now, when it happens here in the United States, I endorsed Martha Reeves and the Vandellas "Dancing in the Street" as the theme song to that, because people are going to be partying down. But nevertheless, here in Hungary, we have a new prime minister there. His name is Peter Magyar. Peter Magyar, he's the new prime minister there. He won. And Sunday ending in 16 years of power, all right, that Viktor Orban had. He had 16 years of suffering to those people. And, he's doing exactly what Donald Trump is doing in the United States. He's politicizing. He's doing things to, I don't know, to enhance his own personal agendas, whatever, And so he's out. Now, if they could do it there, we can do it here. All right. And people weren't playing out there. And so that should be something that everybody could look at. And so I'm pretty sure Vladimir Putin is not feeling good about that either. Pretty sure he's not feeling good about that either. But that's what happened. That's what happened. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I was very offended about, and I'm sure a lot of other people were offended, especially the Catholics and the evangelicals. They were all offended by that picture that Donald Trump posted on his 99-cent. I call it the 99-cent social media. His social media page. What's the name of it? It's called. What's the name of his page? Lie Social. Oh, Lie Social. Anyway, he posted that picture of him being depicted as Jesus Christ. Did you see it? Now, I'm not going to flash that picture. I'm not going to show that picture on this show because I was very offended by it. Very offended by it. And some people who are not even religious were offended by it. And then he gets involved with the Pope. The Pope called him out on it. The Pope called him out. The Pope said he offended Donald Trump thought that the Pope offended him, but the Pope said he refuses to apologize for attacking Trump. And what he said about Trump, he said the Pope blasted Trump for using biblical terms and images to justify the war. And that war that we're having, right? Which, by the way, everybody's looking forward to the war ending. But I got to tell you, in my personal opinion, that war is not going to be over until he's out of there. And the other thing that bothers me is that the Pope, who is an American, by the way, refuses to come to America until this guy is out of office. Now, you know how popes, they do. They go all over the world. They visit people. They pray for people. They go all over the world. But he is not coming to New York until this guy is out of office. And so that's when now the 25th Amendment should be invoked. And that has to be done by his cabinet. And that has to be led by the vice president, who is J.D. Vance, which he is not going to do because J.D. Vance has the spine of a tower of jelly. And he's not going to do it. And let's say, for instance, even if they did get him out of there, J.D. Vance would be next in line. You could be President J.D. Vance. He would be next in line. But listen to this. Even though he has the title, even though he would have the title of being president, he's not going to be calling any shots. Now, see if you agree with me on this. Who will call the shots then? See if you agree with me on this. Stephen Miller. Do you agree on that? Stephen Miller will be the puppet master of J.D. Vance. Isn't that something? I'd like to talk about this more, but I gotta go. I will be back here on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Talkback Live show. Brian Camp, my co-host, will be here with me and also have the latest developments in today's world of sports. I will be looking for you as well. In the meantime, come back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports. I'll be looking forward to seeing you as well. I want to say hello to all of you who have dropped by, and you guys have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.